Metro Boomin is dropping the soundtrack to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and today we're gonna go over all the information that we got for this new soundtrack. But when you look at the features, when you look at who Metro recruited on this album, then you realize this is more than just a soundtrack. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. So we first knew about Metro doing this when he posted himself in the studio with a Spider-Man comic book up on the, whatever working desk he was on, and he said that the Spider-Verse soundtrack is coming June 2nd, and we were all very excited because that means that we got production for this new movie that a lot of people were already hyping up from none other than legendary producer Metro Boomin, who just dropped, at the time of, announcing this, had dropped only his album Heroes and Villains 4 months earlier, which was a huge success. Creepin' is still going crazy in the charts right now, and the album itself was packed with stars that we wanted to see and also did incredibly well commercially. And now getting another follow-up album like half a year later is pretty fucking crazy. So let's take a look at everything that we know about this thing. Well, the interesting thing is that we have a couple of different cover arts for this. They range from this, I think that's going to be like the big one with these two Spider-Men like shaking hands, but we have other ones with just a spider and then some other ones that he posted. Maybe some of that is just promotional footage, but I think that the first one that I showed y'all is actually going to end up as the cover art for this, because obviously it has to be related to the movie. It's not a Metro Boomin album, he's only doing the soundtrack. But now we're going to take a look at who's featured on the album, because that blew people's minds. So let's get to it. So the way that Metro did this was pretty cool. He made a comic, or not he, but his team made a comic book Spider-Man version or character of every artist that was featured on the album. That's how he always announced those, and I think that was a pretty cool creative way to do it. So let's go through these. We have Don Toliver, who we also got a snippet from. We're going to talk about the snippets in a second, but having Don on here, that's pretty cool. We haven't had a collab from them other than from, Heroes and Villains, so not anything before this, so that is pretty cool. Then we have James Blake on here, which is also a really cool thing to have. Then Future, of course. Future can't miss on a record like that. Then we have Nav, who's already featured on a single that we got, but we're going to get into that in a second. Then Coi Leray, which is also pretty cool that she's on the Metro album. Then we have Jid. Oh my god, I love Jid. By the way, I'm going to a Jid concert in July, so that's pretty cool. Then we have Sway Lee. He also can't miss on a summer vibe soundtrack. Then we have Toya. Now, I don't know about her, so let me know that, who she is and what I should listen to from her. Then we have Lil Uzi Vert, also can't miss when we're talking about the big leagues of hip hop right now. Then we have Beam, who I also have not, kind of heard about, so let me know who this is. Then we have 8 as well, also. Let me know who that is. I don't know about her. Next up, we had Offset, though. He also can't miss on the Metro album. Usually goes pretty hard on his production. A Boogie is in here as well, so that is also pretty cool. Wizkid made it onto this list as well. Then we got A$AP Rocky, which is also pretty cool. A$AP Rocky's about to drop his own album. Now getting a little taste of what he might bring in his own album to the soundtrack is pretty cool. So it's kind of cool vibe to have him on here. 21 Savage also can't miss from a Metro project. The two of them are inseparable. 2 Chainz is on here as well, which is cool. Going back to Atlanta vibes. Then Roy Z. Also don't know who that is, but let me know what I should listen to about her. And we got Nas on this thing, which I also thought was pretty cool, because having an older rapper on here like that is only giving Metro credibility. And the last person on here is Lil Wayne, the best rapper alive, so having Wayne on here is also pretty cool dub for Metro. So you can see, this is not some random soundtrack. You're not going to go into the soundtrack and be like, oh, it's just the music for the new Spider-Man, movie. No, this is like a Metro Boomin album. Having exclusively hip-hop artists on this thing is amazing. And that only shows that they really let him have free choice of who to put on here, kind of like free will as to who would, be on this album. And that's pretty cool because he only put hip hop artists on here, of course. So not being forced to cram some pop artists in here just because the record label or the production company thinks that that's what you need to do. Pretty cool move for hip-hop, not gonna lie. Well, let's take a look at some of the snippets that we had for this thing. First, we had a snippet from the Don Toliver track called Link Up, which sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but it sounds pretty cool. What I think sounds even better is a snippet that we got with James Blake called Hummingbird. That should be really fucking dope. And we also got a track teased with Coil Ray called Self Love that I think will also be pretty cool. And we got a little snippet from a track with Future, who's obviously also on this album. So y'all can go listen to those on his Twitter because that's where he posted those. So if you're interested in that, make sure to go check him out there. Next up, I wanted to touch real quick on a single that we got yesterday because that's the only single we got so far. So kind of like a big thing. Well, it's called Calling with Sway Lee, Nav, and A Boogie. And I think it's actually pretty cool. I wasn't so convinced first listening to this, but I think after hearing it a couple of times, this is actually a pretty cool single. Kind of gives off that Sway Lee vibe, even though I felt like his vocals were a little bit distant, were a little bit not so projected. But together with that animated music video that was also referencing the movie, obviously, I thought that this was a pretty cool vibe. And honestly, my hope for this is going into summer. This is dropping tomorrow, June 2nd, and it's June now, so summer is officially here. Not like meteorologically, whatever you call that, but like basically summer's here. To have a positive and upbeat vibe coming from Metro with this project would definitely enrich all of our summers. Can't tell me it wouldn't. So I'm very excited for Metro himself that he got the opportunity to do this because this is pretty big. I mean, this is for him a big, step forward. Now doing movies, doing the soundtracks, Metro, who was just coming up like 5, 6, 7 years ago as a young producer, now doing this pretty big, and also that they let him the freedom to choose who he's going to put on here. And that it's kind of like, he went out there and was like, I wanted this artist on there, this artist on there, this artist on there. So I do think it's pretty cool. And this is more like a hip-hop album than really a soundtrack. But let me know what y'all think about this, though. I heard a lot of people already say that they're only going to see the movie for the soundtrack. Let me know if that's you. I'm definitely going to be watching the movie. Let me know what y'all think about this, though, about all the features, because there are quite a lot of them, about the snippets and about the single, all of that in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.